We come now to that point in our order of worship where we pause to come before God, lifting up our joys and our concerns, lifting up those things that we want to each other to pray for, and bringing them before God's throne of grace. As we come together in prayer this morning, here are some of the things that you need to be aware of. Sandy Wright, the wife of our district superintendent, has been hospitalized again. This time they were in Charlotte, North Carolina. So she's at a hospital in Charlotte. She was there last night, and we're not sure if she will have to spend another night or not. It was the same kind of thing happened again. So please keep Jeff and Sandy in our prayers. As Dottie said earlier, Ben was hospitalized briefly this week, but he's back out and seems to be doing better. So let's keep him in our prayers. Pat Wood is at Heritage Hall Nursing Home. Let's continue to keep her and the family in our prayers. Beth Hagan is not in the hospital anymore, but she is still in Northern Virginia. Let's keep her in our prayers, and John will be coming home sometime probably in the next week or so. Continue to pray for Dean Bieber as he recovers from his accident. Let's keep Jenny Shoup on our prayer list. Also, as we look around our nation, let's keep the people of Ferguson, Missouri, and the civil unrest that is going on there in our prayers, and pray that peace would descend upon that community. Let's continue to pray for Israel and Gaza and Hamas and all of the players involved in that situation over in the Middle East. And as a word of celebration, last Sunday, as a Methodist, I think I had an opportunity to make the Baptist envious when I went to do a baptism in the river. Because not only was the river full of water, but the heavens were full of water. And it was coming down so hard I could barely see to read the liturgy. I had to keep wiping the water away. But we had not one but two baptisms. In addition to Connor Clendenin being baptized, his dad made his profession of faith that day and was baptized as well. And so we had us a wonderful time last Sunday afternoon. Welcome to God's family, fellas. Glad that you are part of that family now. What other kinds of joys, concerns, thanksgivings do we want to share this morning? Okay. Andrew? Okay, Andrew. Well.
Oh, say it?
Yes.
Will you please pray for one of our friends that's in Wise? Her name's Marley. She found out that her dad had cancer Thursday. And she's a daddy's girl, and she's having a really tough time.
Okay, we'll pray for Marley, whose dad has cancer. Come down front here. Is that microphone on?
No.
Go ahead and try talking.
I pray for my mom because she had to work. She only gets 3 days off, and she had to work all the days. Whereas she's a manager, assistant manager. So she had to work a lot for us.
Okay, we'll pray for your mom.
Pray for my dad because he has to sleep in the morning because at morning whenever he sleeps he can breathe, and at nighttime he can't sleep because at night whenever he falls asleep he can't breathe at night.
Okay.
I want to pray for my mom and my dad.
Okay.
I want to pray for my daddy.
A little extra information here. Tonight at 7 o'clock on channel 27 or 23, they're going to have a special on the Southwest Virginia Food Bank. They're going to do some things on McLiner's show or something. It's going to be at 7 o'clock tonight.
Okay. Other things we need to lift up in prayer. A joy up here, Andrew? Come this way. Wow, we'll go ahead and get Phil while Andrew's coming up. Phil?
Marley's dad is Danny Sterling, the athletic director at UVA Wise. 41 years old, and just found out he has cancer.
Okay.
It's a personal joy to me this morning to see Don here, looking very healthy, and it's a blessing to my heart to see the Halls back, Gary and Karen.
Okay. Come bring it over to Cindy, please.
Okay, the first thing is a joy because we have a lot of new faces here this morning. I don't know your names, but I'm glad that you made it here today, the people in the front row and the people in the back row, and we welcome you back. The prayer concern I have is for Rick Campbell. He is our neighbor. I think Mr. Hamilton from the college asked for a prayer for him last week. He and his wife, Beth, have been here in Big Stone all of my life, and they both work for Mountain Empire. He is going through the first stages of chemo and everything for pancreatic cancer, and he is very, very ill. And they're both very scared and worried, and I would just ask for you to give them some peace because they're really struggling with it. Thank you.
Are there other prayer concerns?
I don't need the microphone.
We'll go. Yes. We'll go with Barbara.
Well, I have a praise. Justin and Kim brought Riker home, I guess Saturday, and they're doing very well. They've already done a road trip. Patty liked it on Facebook. I'm not commenting on it, and so that's why I'm over here sitting with her and giving her some grief over it. But and they've applied for a passport already. So new parents, and also yeah, a passport for a week-old child. And I also want to give a shout out to Larry, who brings these kids to church. I mean, when I hear their little voices, it's a blessing to this church. We are the church. They are the future of this church. He's bringing them to this church in his way to have them raised in the church. And I just think that that's a wonderful blessing to Trinity.
Rick?
Richard and me was going to take a picture of the football team and the band on Thursday and took a bad fall. So, good thing about Richard.
Okay. Richard and our prayers. Who else? What else? Angie?
The student at Ella Faddington that I told you guys about last week, I cannot think of her name right now. It's just left me. But she went to St. Jude's. They thought cancer had returned on her. She actually is home, and it was not cancer. So.
Okay. Anything else we need to share in prayer? Over here, Andrew.
I'd like you to remember this week on Wednesday, Mary Lou Bush. Some of you know her from Appalachia. She writes that column that's in the Post every week. She's having some serious surgery on Wednesday at Bristol Memorial Hospital on her neck to fuse some bones. So please remember her in your prayers this week, that all goes well and the physicians are able to complete that surgery successfully.
Please add my mother, Mary Jane Shingler, to the prayer list. She's had a rough recovery from surgery. And pray for me as we're going through role reversals while I help her recuperate. So they say if you pray for patience, you get tribulation. So I won't pray for that, but you all keep me in your prayers. It's been very interesting.
What else? Well, let's go. Marcy Evans. That's the Marcy we were praying for earlier. And I'm told that her grandmother, I think, has also died. And so we need to pray for her. What else do we need to lift up in prayer? Well, let's go before the Lord in prayer then. Most gracious God, we come before you with so many different kinds of concerns today. It just seems like you're putting on our heart more and more things that we need to be lifting up in prayer, and we just ask that you would make us the kind of people that would bring these things up, that we would become intercessors, that we would become people that would pray for others, that we would pray for situations in our community, in our nation, and in our world, that we would pray for your peace, and that we would seek your wisdom, and that we would hope that your power would move upon us in ways that we don't always understand, and that you would mold us and shape us, and that you would heal us and guide us and love us. There's just so many things we need, Lord. So many things we can't supply on our own. We can't deal with hundreds of hungry children. We can't deal with communities that are tearing themselves apart. We can't deal with all these things. But working with you, working with other churches, working with people in our community, we can begin to make a difference. We can begin to heal situations. We can begin to make life better for children. We can begin to show your love to the adults that we encounter as well, that we can do so many things. Help us to never say to ourselves, that's just more than I can handle. But instead to learn to rely upon you and say that with your help we can make it happen. Give us that sense, Lord, that you are there, that you are writing the grants that we'll never be able to write, and that you're doing the things that we will never be able to do except with your help. All these things we ask in the name of Christ, who has taught us to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.